Hello and welcome to this presentation on the 13th Zodiac Constellation Ophiuchus. I'm excited to share a little bit more about Ophiuchus and the research that I have done. Really tapping into what does Ophiuchus really mean to us now? Why is it getting so much attention? And I really think that it is making many people really question things that they never questioned before. For example, should we have 13 zodiac signs versus just 12? Should we have 13 months rather than just 12? I don't have all of the answers to that, but we will dive into the story of Ophiuchus to understand the energies behind this constellation. So, in this presentation, I will explore the mythological story of Ophiuchus and uncover its astrological symbolism in birth charts. We'll cover the mythology, astronomy, astrology, and contemporary relevance. The key question is, what does it mean to embody Ophiuchus energy? To really understand the energy of Ophiuchus, we'll go back into the ancient Greek mythology and take a look at the character Asclepius, the master healer. Asclepius was known as the hero and god of medicine. He was the son of the Greek god Apollo, the god of music, prophecy, healing, archery, and the sun and light, so all the things, right? A very central figure in Greek mythology, and therefore we have the famous temples of Apollo. So Asclepius, being his son, he learned the art of healing from Chiron the centaur. And in astrology, Chiron is known as the wounded healer. So there's a lot of themes around medicine with Chiron. So Chiron was Asclepius' mentor, and at some point Asclepius surpassed the skills of Chiron and he was able to bring people back from the dead. And this really upset the Greek god Zeus, the king of the gods. And Zeus killed Asclepius for upsetting the natural order of life and death. After he killed him, he immortalized him as a star, and that is the star that we know today as Ophiuchus, the serpent holder. Snakes play a very significant role in Asclepius' story. It was known that snakes would whisper the secrets of healing in his ears. And in the most popular story, Asclepius witnessed a snake placing an herb on the head of a dead snake, bringing it back to life. And after Asclepius observed this, he was able to use the same herb to bring others back to life. Asclepius was also known to, or believed to, provide guidance of cures through dreams. So back in the days, there were sanctuaries where they could perform these rituals called dream incubation. And people would come and sleep in these special chambers. And when they would wake up, they would report their dreams to a priest. And the priest would provide a cure based on the interpretation of the dreams. So I find that very interesting how we have these themes around the snakes and medicine and dreams all intertwined with the story of Ophiuchus. And here on the screen, I'm showing the rod of Asclepius, which is a staff entwined by a single snake. And this is the true symbol of medicine. There's a lot of confusion with the caduceus, which is the rod with the two snakes. And that has been mistaken as the symbol of medicine. But if we go back to Greek mythology, it's actually the rod with the single snake that represents medicine. Taking a look at the snake symbolism, Ophiuchus is known as the serpent bearer, and the serpent is a universal symbol of transformation and rebirth. To the Greeks, snakes were sacred beings of wisdom, healing, and resurrection. The snake entwined staff represents the duality of snake's venom, the poison and the antidote, and the control Asclepius had over it. Moving on to the astronomy and placement of Ophiuchus. Here on the screen, I have Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is located between the constellations of Scorpio and Sagittarius. And in the same part of the sky, we have the galactic center, Sagittarius A, which is a black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And I definitely feel like this is very significant to the energy that we associate with the constellation of Ophiuchus. As far as the zodiac dates for Ophiuchus, the sun passes through Ophiuchus between December 6 and December 18. So if you were to be born today between December 6th and December 18th, your sun sign would be in the constellation of Ophiuchus. Moving on into why it's not in the traditional zodiac. Ancient Babylonians divided the path of the sun, which is known as the ecliptic, into 12 equal segments based on the seasons. And each segment was assigned to one of the 12 archetypal zodiac signs. Western tropical astrology, which is what we use today, it is the predominant form of astrology today, adopted this system and is therefore based on the seasons and not the constellations. In true sidereal astrology, to be considered a zodiac sign, the constellation must be positioned along the ecliptic. The ecliptic passes through a band of 13 constellations, including Ophiuchus. So to summarize that, because tropical astrology is based on the seasons, it really doesn't care about what is in the sky and if there's more than 12 constellations. It started off by first sectioning the sky into 12 sections and then assigning a zodiac constellation. Moving on to the astrological significance, the core themes of Ophiuchus are healing, transformation, mastery of life force energy, seeking knowledge and truth concerned with deeper meaning of life, bridging life and death, rebirth, serpent wisdom, renewal, and medicine. The shadow aspect of Ophiuchus can be playing God, obsession with control and addiction, destructive misuse of power, and sacrifice in service. If you have strong placements in Ophiuchus, it may reveal initiatory trials in healing, medicine, mysticism, or energy work. And I can definitely attest to that. I have my moon in Ophiuchus, and I definitely feel like part of my journey, soul path, is to alchemize emotions. The moon is associated with the subconscious and the emotions. So having Ophiuchus aligned to my moon, I feel like a big part of my mission is to alchemize these very deep feelings and emotions that can surface. As far as rulership, all of the zodiac signs are assigned to a planet, and the planet would be said to rule that sign. So for example, Aries is ruled by Mars. Pisces would be ruled by Neptune. As far as Ophiuchus, most agree that Chiron rules Ophiuchus, and this is a small planet that was discovered in 1977, so that hasn't been very long. And as I mentioned before, it represents the archetype of the wounded healer. As far as the elements, all of the zodiac signs are assigned to one of the four elements: air, fire, water, and earth. But Ophiuchus is considered to be ether, the fifth element, the fabric of space, the invisible medium. And the sacred geometry associated with ether is the dodecahedron, which has 12 sides. Moving on to the contemporary relevance, as I mentioned in the beginning, with Ophiuchus coming into the picture, there's a lot of controversy around it being the 13th sign. Do we really have 13 signs? Should it just be 12? And there's a lot of comparison between true sidereal astrology versus tropical astrology. True sidereal astrology does acknowledge the 13th constellation Ophiuchus, and tropical astrology does not. It sticks to the 12 signs. There can be a lot of debate, and I've definitely seen a lot of tropical astrologers get really upset with true sidereal astrologers. I've seen it in comment sections. Because of that, I was like, there's no way I'm talking about true sidereal astrology. So it definitely scared me a little bit. But at this point, I just feel like, I'm not trying to debunk tropical astrology. That is not my intention. I'm just really interested in what is in the sky in real time, and that is just the angle that I am taking. I am more interested in the true astronomical position of the planets, and I am not concerned with debunking tropical astrology. I also feel like Ophiuchus brings this initiatory gateway, which is like a portal between personal and galactic energies. It does align with the galactic center, suggesting a frequency of higher guidance. And then the last thing I wanted to share here is that we're also seeing a shift in the collective archetype, and humanity's rising interest in holistic healing and energy medicine really reflect the return of Ophiuchus. So why was it left out? Right here I have a few possible reasons why it could have been left out. It could be just the mathematics. When you have a circle, which is 360 degrees, it's just easier to divide it into 12 equal segments. And definitely this is an aspect of tropical astrology that I miss. I miss having this perfect symmetrical balance between all of the signs and all of the elements, and everything is evenly distributed. So that's why I say that I'm not trying to debunk tropical astrology. I do think it serves a different purpose. Another reason that it could have been left out is this association with the resurrection of the physical body and the knowledge of resurrection. And these concepts defy religion, and they are associated with Yeshua. If you remember, Yeshua is able to come back to life after death, right? There's also a forbidden knowledge aspect, which brings in the wisdom of Thoth in Egyptian mythology and the medicine of regeneration, again, of reintegration. So to summarize, Ophiuchus embodies the serpent wisdom of healing, alchemy, and cosmic wisdom. It invites us to integrate shadow and light in the path of spiritual mastery. And my closing reflection is, perhaps Ophiuchus was never lost, only waiting for humanity to be ready for its medicine. And that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye.